Insights is designed to help you make sense of the rich, open-ended feedback that you receive about your app from your customers. So this will come in many forms. One will be reviews, so App Store reviews that people leave. Another option is to see the messages that you receive if you're using Apptentive Message Center. And lastly is through survey responses. So that would be the free form or open-ended question type on surveys. So we'll pull in all of that feedback into one place to help you analyze and understand what your customers are saying. Within the page itself, there's a bunch of different options for filtering. So for example, on the reviews section, you can choose to just look at reviews, and then you can dive a little bit deeper and look at a particular store rating attributed to a review or sets of ratings, as you can see here. And then you can also filter by country where applicable. So the iOS App Store does break out reviews and ratings by country, whereas on Android, everything is in one app store. So this will only be available on your iOS dashboard. In addition to filtering by just reviews, you can obviously filter for just messages or just surveys if you'd like. You also have the option to view and filter by sentiment. So we will assign a sentiment score to all of the feedback that you receive using machine learning. So you'll see as you dig into particular pieces of content, you'll see that sentiment score assigned. So let's look at all sentiment right now. When you look a little bit further in the actual content itself, you'll see for reviews, you'll see the name of the person leaving the review. If it's a survey, you'll see the name of the survey. You can actually click into that survey. You'll see on the survey side, you'll see the question that was asked as well as their response, and then source. So is it coming from a survey? Is it a review? Is it a message? So that changes obviously as you change your filters or depending on the content that you're looking for. You also have sentiment applied again to each piece of content. And then on your surveys, you'll see what we call the Apptentive fan signal. So this is going to be based on how that person answered the Apptentive love dialogue. A repeat fan has answered yes 2 times in a row. Shifted to risk is somebody who used to say they loved you and then on the most recent time said that they didn't. New risk means this is the first time they've been asked. Non-respondent, they didn't answer the love dialogue. There's a few different categories here, and you'll see as you click through. We'd love to talk to you more about fan signals and what this means for your customers. So please reach out to your account manager or your customer success manager and we can set up some time. But this is just to help you illustrate all of the deep feedback that you're getting and the different ways that you can analyze this data. So in addition to some of those filtering options, a lot of times people use Insights because they want to make sense of this feedback, but you can also use it if you know what you're looking for to distill down to that particular data set. So in this case, you want to search for anytime somebody mentions feature, and all of those comments will then show up. So again, it's just an easy way for you to also search for things and apply that filter accordingly. In addition to these filters up here, you're also going to get an overview of volume. That's going to apply to whatever time frame you've set. So we default to the last 30 days here. And then you'll see the average volume per day. So again, all of your filters and your time frame will apply to this, and it will change as you change your filters. You'll also see ratings. This is only applicable when you're looking at reviews, obviously. So it's going to show the rating that is attributed to reviews. It will be different than your App Store rating because some people leave a rating without leaving a review. And then finally, sentiment distribution. So how many positive, neutral, or negative assigned sentiments do you have across all of your feedback? Lastly, there's some sidebar filters that are super helpful for continuing to discover this content. The first is going to be phrases. So this is a way to see what words and phrases people are talking about within your feedback. And then you can add those additionally to your filters and only look at that content. You can also click to hide a phrase. So if you think that that piece of content or that phrase is just not super helpful to see, you can hide it. And then it will move down to this hidden phrases section where you could always remove it and add it back up here if you need to. You can also sort by volume and pin phrases. So if you know, regardless, you want to keep seeing a particular phrase, you can pin it and it will always show up. This is going to apply to your view particularly. In addition to phrases, you also have the ability to tag and then filter by tags. So Apptentive tags are a way to categorize feedback into different buckets. A lot of our customers use them for things like tracking feature requests or tracking bugs. So you would just add those tags to any applicable pieces of content, and then you're able to then add that as a filter. It again gives you a really quick view of how many people are talking about or asking for a particular thing. And then finally, applicable to surveys. Oftentimes people have multiple surveys running at the same time. So if you want to analyze your feedback only from one particular survey, you can add that to your filters, and then you're able to see that feedback as opposed to across all of your different surveys. Lastly, it's important to note that you can download everything on this page from this button right here, and the download will respect the filters that you have set. So right now we're only filtering surveys, but just keep that in mind. If you want a narrower set of data, keep filtering. If you want wider, remove those filters, and you can do that by just Xing out there. The last thing that you can do is you can actually save filters. So we're going to do that now. So there we go. Let's see. We'll add a few, we'll add a phrase, and we'll add a survey, and that's what we want our saved filter to be. And then from here, it's going to be surveys connecting with UX. And then you can add an additional description if you want to be a little bit more specific here. And then a time period. So again, we'll always default to 30 days. If you want to go back, this is going to be a rolling period of, for example, the last 90 days. Okay, so once you've saved your filter, then you're going to go over to the Saved Filters tab. You'll see all of the different filters that have been saved, and then you can click in, and then that can kind of serve as your dashboard view. If you want this view every time you come into Apptentive, you can set up a saved filter, so that way you don't have to go through and do all the clicks and the filtering. It's just, this is your setup when you come in. Again, this will be specific to your login and your view, but really, really helpful when you start to get a little bit more familiar. If you have feedback, questions, or just want to get a bit more of a guided walkthrough of what your insights look like, please contact either your customer success manager or support@apptentive.com. We'd love to talk to you.